right. Hello and welcome everyone. Can you hear me all right? Okay, wonderful. I am so glad that you're all here with us today, whether you're joining us from the kitchen, the office, or somewhere cozy at home with a pet nearby. We're really grateful that you made the time. My name is Amanda Allen, and on behalf of Santa Barbara Humane, welcome to our very first Coffee with Kerri. This series grew out of a really simple idea that some of the most meaningful conversations happen not in big presentations, but in quieter moments, like over a cup of coffee. And so these are times when we're curious and reflective and open to learning together. And so Coffee with Kerri is going to be just that. It's going to be a time where we can explore ideas, experiences, and everyday questions, even that help shape how we care for animals at home, in our community, and beyond. We're kicking off this series with a topic that's especially meaningful right now, and that is the evolution of animal welfare. Santa Barbara Humane has been a part of this community since 1887. And a lot has changed since then, how we care for animals, what we understand about animals, as well as what our community expects from humane organizations. And so it is really my honor to be here interviewing our CEO, Kerri Burns, who will help us trace that journey from the pioneer beginnings of Santa Barbara Humane to the vision that's helping take shape of the new campus today, to the decisions we're making right now that will affect animal care for generations to come. So with that, and with whatever is in your mug, you ready to get started?
Cheers, let's do this.
All right, wonderful. I have some preset questions, and then we'll have time for audience questions as well. Kerri, when you think about Santa Barbara Humane's roots in 1887, what stands out to you most about why this organization was founded in the first place?
I can't even imagine 1887. I don't know if you guys can, but back then there was a group of volunteers that stepped up. And what most people don't know about us is think about 1887. Cats probably weren't in the picture, dogs weren't really around. So, what did this group of volunteers do? They actually stepped up to start taking care of the horses and the animals that were out in the field, because horses were our transportation. Horses brought us food. Horses they meant so much to us. They helped us in the fields.
Yeah.
And all the other animals that were there out in the fields is what they were taking care of. And so it blows me away that back then, and remember, there were no laws for animals back then.
Right.
There were no laws for children. There were no laws for seniors, how they were treated.
Oh my goodness.
And what most people don't know is not only did this group of volunteers step up to take care of the animals, mostly horses and cattle, we also helped kids and seniors.
Santa Barbara Humane.
Santa Barbara Humane.
Wow.
That's what this original group of volunteers did. And then we morphed into really settling where we are today, which is our companion animals. I'm sure most of you have a cat or a dog or something other close to you. I actually have my foster shepherd laying here behind me, so if he pops up and decides to join the conversation, you will know it. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Why does this moment right now feel like the right time to pause and reflect on the evolution of animal welfare?
Things have changed a lot, obviously, since 1887, and even since, let's think about the 60s when we started here. I think about how things have changed, even in my own personal life. I grew up in a fairly small community, and my dad was the town pharmacist. And so everybody knew my dad. And so when the community found an animal, what they do, they took it to my dad, because my dad was just the animal lover. And I grew up knowing nothing other than that. Now, my mother, on the other hand, was like, don't bring that home. It's dirty. So, just so you know, my parents did get divorced later because I don't know if it was because of the animals or me, but they would bring everything and my dad would bring it home.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that I ever learned was the first thing you do with an animal is you get it spayed or neutered. Now, this was not discussed back in I won't say how old I am, but I'm over there. this was not discussed back then, but my father always took the right care with everything.
Amazing.
And one day somebody brought into his work these two little gerbils named Coco and Winston. And Dad's like, fine, I'll bring it home. And of course, my mother just, went crazy. What are these rats doing in my house? I love my mother and father. So just, anyways, these two gerbils came home, and this is how my dad was. Coco and Winston spent about a week in our living room in a little, kennel. And then suddenly, a few weeks later, well, it wasn't Coco and Winston, it was Coquette and Winston. And we ended up with 42 little gerbils.
That's
and
a lot of gerbil.
my father we had a single car garage. He backed his car out of the garage and built this amazing tunnel system for all the gerbils to run around. At that time, the divorce papers were already about signed, obviously.
Wow.
But it was amazing how I just learned that all creatures were important to us, no matter what. And when I think about the evolution, even at Santa Barbara Humane, about the caring and compassionate people that maybe unbeknownst to us at the time, taught us some huge lessons about what it means to care for the animals and what they mean in our lives. And it's just grown and grown and grown. Animals were property. They still really are by law, but animals were property. But the evolution has taught us that now animals are search and rescue dogs. They're canine dogs. The avalanches we just had, their animals were out there helping.
Right.
With that, we've got guide dogs for the blind.
Yeah.
We know what animals do and mean to our lives. We now know what they do for our mental health, our physical health, our spiritual health. It's just come so far, and yet we still have a long way to go.
True. That is so true. It was so interesting to hear a little bit about your childhood. Is that what actually got you to go into animal welfare? How did you get started in your career?
Well, that's a journey in itself. But I think a lot of it had to do with my dad. I've always, okay, here's the truth. I'm an absolute introvert, and I live in an extrovert world.
Sure.
So I've always had this, for me, being out in the woods or just outside or being around animals, that's me, that's my Zen time.
Yeah.
And it's important to me. My career actually started because I thought, I want to work with animals, but I wasn't smart enough to be a veterinarian. There was no way I could do all the math in school. And I was actually a police officer, and people are like, oh, did you get on the canine unit? No, but here's what I did do. When I was in the police department, and they set us all the new kids, right? They set us in this room and they said, what do you want to be later on in this department? Now, mind you, at the time, it was mostly filled with a group of men. And they said, Kerri Burns, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be mounted. Guess how that went over in a group of men in the room? Not very well, because the mounted patrol with the horses, that's what I wanted to do. Yeah, so I got teased a lot after that one. But my career started when an opportunity came available at PetSmart Charities. And I thought, I had been writing block grants for women and children's health.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, if I can write grants, I can review them.
Sure.
And so I applied, and I loved animals, and I thought, this is a way I can take my passion and do something. And I was able to look at shelters all across the US and Canada and give out money. It was a great job, right? It was like, here you go, and you get some, and you get some. But what I was able to do was really, really dive into the shoes and the hearts of the people in the shelters and what they had to go through, because I had no clue until I was right there with them understanding it. And it really shifted, and it's like, this is what I want to do.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I've been doing it for over 25 years.
And we're so lucky to have you here now.
Thanks.
Yeah. Along those lines, since you've seen so many different organizations and apparently read a lot of reports from a lot of different organizations, how have you seen community expectations of humane organizations change over that same time?
I think back in the day when I started, most people were like, I just don't want to know about it. I don't want to know what happens. It's there, it's the shelter. It's kind of the closed eye with the thoughts of, oh, it's a bad place. And I think the community has really stepped up and said, we want more for the animals. If I had to take my animal there, what would I want from that organization? And what I'm really proud about Santa Barbara Humane is, we don't just take in animals. If you come to me, Amanda, and you say, I have to relinquish my animal, most shelters are very reactive and they'd be like, okay, sorry, what's your name? Give me some information, and they
Right.
take the animal back. What we do is we actually want to be proactive. So we'll be like, Amanda, how can we help you keep your pet?
Mhm.
Do you need food? Just tell us. Do you need medical care? Let us help you with that. Do you need behavior and training? Let us take care of that. The shelter should be a last place that animals actually go, because most people really don't want to turn in their pets. They don't know what to do about it.
Right.
And so I think it's really looks different now. We look at herd health.
Mhm.
And we look at the animals individually when they come in, not just here, you need food, water, and a place to sleep. We look at the holistic care of the animal and say, what is it that you need to be successful as a cat or a dog in our care to get you into a home? And it's really shifted from a piece of property thrown in a kennel to we care about you as a human, we care about the animal and their needs.
I love that. And keeping families together.
That's what it's about.
That's incredible. What has surprised you the most about how people show up for their animals when given the opportunity?
Oh my gosh, people are amazing. You have to stop judging them.
Mm.
If you stop judging people and just look at they come and know that the beginning of whatever they do, they come with good intention.
Yeah.
And the rest will open up from there. I mean, when I think about how people show up, I spent 10 years of my life doing disaster response with animals. Hurricane Katrina, 9/11, I did the largest pit bull fighting ring bust with the FBI. I've done a lot of hurricanes, a lot of wildfires. And to watch the community come out of the woodwork for the animals is amazing. I mean, right here in our own backyard, which I was like, wow, Santa Barbara, gee, what am I doing? My first week here was the Thomas fire.
Oh my gosh.
And the debris flow.
And then the debris flow.
Because I had done so much work with disaster response, I'm like, we can do this. The people are going to need a place to go to heal, but so are their animals. And so we took in over 600 animals during that time.
That's a lot.
And we just said, we got you covered while you get your life set back up. And to watch them come back and say, thank you, now how can we help you?
Right.
What do you need? Do you need money? Do you need beds or sheets or whatever? And it just continues because it's all about compassion and caring and love. And once your world goes down to absolutely nothing, it's actually when you're the most giving. And that's when the communities step up. I've seen it every single time.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I just love how Santa Barbara Humane stepped up for Pasadena as well.
Yeah, not only did we help with the animals, but in the Pasadena fires, what a lot of people don't realize is that the staff were working long, hard hours, and the staff were actually living in the shelter with their pets.
Gosh.
And so we went a step beyond and we actually said, let's send some of our staff down there to give you guys respite. Yeah. We sent some of our veterinary team, animal care team. We even sent some of our marketing folks.
That's amazing.
Because they're all exhausted. And in order to continue forward, you need help.
Right. No, that is so true.
Yeah.
From all of this evolution and all that we've learned so far, how are those lessons directly shaping the new campus that's taking form?
Okay, so let's think about 1887, right? And just animals working out there, working hard, people trying to help them. Then we were working with the kids and seniors. And then it was probably about the late, I'll go mid 1900s, that because we were actually animal control throughout this entire county. We did everything.
Wow.
And it wasn't until the late 1900s, which the county set up their own county animal services. I don't know why. It was around the 1970s, I believe.
Okay.
But think about the 1960s is when we started here at Overpass Road. And these buildings have not changed. They've been painted.
Right.
But they honestly, people are like, oh, it's so cute. Like, let me take you inside because it looks like crap, honestly. The walls have been peed on. Let's be honest, they've been peed on, they've been pooped on
For 60
and
years.
it's for 60 years.
Yeah.
And it's just this chain link fence. You know, every time sometimes I look at it, I think if Sarah McLachlan's gonna break out and start singing, you know, in the eyes of an angel, we just start crying. We don't deserve that. The animals don't deserve that. Our community does not deserve that. Which is why we know that when we look at animals individually, that we need to take care of their stress level. We need to take care of the herd health. They need to smell good things. They need to hear calming things. It just helps in the transition. And I hear two things from people all the time. Oh, I could never go to the shelter because I'd cry or I'd take them all home. Well, people shouldn't feel that way. This is why we're calling it a campus, not a shelter. It's a place that you come learn about everything that we do. And we want it to be inviting. We want it to be caring because what humans don't recognize, because we're in our brains all the time, just thinking, sometimes just when you walk past an animal and you make contact with them,
Yeah.
you might not realize it, but that animal for that moment might have just taken a first true breath because there was something about you that resonated. And it's amazing that people don't take the time to recognize how they help with everything they do. And this new campus, through every step of it, building it from the paws up, is letting us work with the animals and what they feel and see and do, all the way up to the joy of the humans coming out here.
I love
I
that.
love it. And we're working with the environment. Healing starts somewhere. And it can start, you know, you heal an animal, it can heal the environment, it can heal the person. It all is connected. And once we realize the importance of that, that's what we want to bring to light is a more compassionate world, a world of hope.
Yeah.
And we can start that right here with our new campus that we're putting in.
Oh, it's amazing.
I love it.
Is there a story of one animal or family that you were able to help during your career that gave you a lot of hope?
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
It's so I mean, when you do this work for so long, it's just amazing. Honestly, I could tell you a million stories, but personal one for me.
Yeah.
I started my career in Arizona and I've worked with shelters all across the US, Mexico, Canada, and Australia. So I've been everywhere. So I was working at the main shelters were in Arizona and then Florida and then Chicago and then out here for the main shelters that actually truly just was an executive. And when I got here, talk about full circle for me. I was my personal pet had passed away of cancer and did what we could to help her out. But full circle for me in helping an animal was we had just suddenly transferred a group of dogs from Arizona. And this dog came to us and she had heartworm really bad.
Oh.
And it wasn't just one treatment, it was 2 treatments. And she was a senior.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those where seniors a lot of times get overlooked, and seniors that have medical issues just get overlooked. And I happened to walk in and see her, and I absolutely, it's hard. I absolutely fell in love. And many of you know her, it was Callie, the most perfect dog in the world, literally perfect. She went out to senior living facilities, she went out to schools, all of that. But it was full circle, right? Because she came to me from Arizona.
Right.
And she passed away 2 years ago.
I remember her.
But she's the story that just keeps me going and realizing that her journey and our journey and this community's journey, that those that knew her in this community it's amazing.
Oh,
so
thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We all miss her. Yeah.
Indeed.
Like I'm gonna drink some of my vodka right now.
Oh, it's water. Well, let's carry on with that. Oh, that was such a touching story. Thank you again. If you can imagine Santa Barbara Humane 20 or 30 years from now, what do you hope people will say about the decisions that are being made today?
Oh, I hope they say that I'm so proud
Mm.
to be a Santa Barbara community member. I am
Mhm.
so proud to be part of the journey that started to make us so successful that other people are looking at us going, we want to be like you.
Yeah.
I want the community to say, we know how to treat our animals. And not only in our own backyard, but we know how to help others around us. And it's just a human animal bond and pride that will
Hmm.
continue on and on. But it has to start now, and it has to start today, that we start that journey knowing that animals need to be, not should be, need to be living in better conditions while they're in our care,
Yes.
treated with respect
Hmm.
and love and compassion. And the love and compassion is there from our staff and our people every day. But wow, our buildings, that needs to change.
Right.
That needs to change.
And I know that we need that to change now. And so it's really tricky to plan a campus, not just for today, but for future generations as
Yeah.
well, which is a little bit of the unknown.
Yeah, and it's my crystal ball right here. I wish, because I'd probably just, win the lottery and pay for everything. But when we look at the future of animals, I don't think it's going to be about adoptions and sheltering.
Hmm.
We're doing such a great job of people understanding. I mean, what did they say? About 71% of households have at least one pet in their home, and
Yes.
only 40% have children. So obviously, pets are winning. Um, but as we move forward with this, we have to look at what is the future. Right now, we're looking at access to veterinary care. We've all had to go to the veterinarian. It's so expensive, and most people can't afford it.
Right.
It's also, people don't know how to train they want the perfect dog or cat, and they don't know how to train them, when they don't understand the behavior.
Hmm.
Let's help them with that behavior so the animal can stay in the home. I think as we morph, we're also building these buildings to morph in the future, so that if we don't need a huge intake center, let's morph it into something else on the inside. It's not just going to be concrete and chain link. It's going to be something that we can continually grow into the future. And that's what I love about our visionary thought that we've put into this.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How exactly are we going to be changing this campus to help those two biggest areas of growth with access to veterinary care and the education and behavior training side?
Yeah, this is what I love about this. So right now, anyone that's been here, they know we have a lot of kennels here, a lot of space for that. But our teeny tiny little veterinary clinic, is about the size of my office here. It's
Pretty small.
we're maxed out at what we can do, and yet, we merged with Santa Maria Valley, and we have a mobile unit now because we're trying to expand where we can. It's still not enough. So we have 9 full-time veterinarians. And we're a training hospital for vet students from across the United States, and we had our first one come from the UK.
That's awesome.
So we want a future where we have more veterinarians in our community. One of the biggest changes we're making is our veterinary medical center is going to be 4 times the size that it currently is. We can do more procedures, not just spay and neuter, more dentals, more specialty surgeries, mass removals, different types of care, and train more veterinary students.
That's awesome.
So it's a win-win for our community, again,
Yes.
to be a place that just supports growth and supports people in their journeys. We're also expanding our behavior and training. Right now we have one room, and it's a multi-purpose room, let's just call it that.
Right.
But we'll have multiple rooms that we can do more behavior and training. We're actually going to have a building on campus that's a behavior center.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So for dogs specifically that come in, that need a little bit more work, maybe they're just super shy, let's give them a space that's quiet, that we can let them come out of their shell at their own pace and build that confidence. For cats, because we're in Santa Barbara, we're going to have some indoor-outdoor runs, which they will love. And we're also going to take in rabbits, though, too, because rabbits are the 3rd most adoptable pet in the United States.
Love it.
First is dogs, second is cats, third are rabbits. Yeah. So we're growing in the areas that we can see need the most growth for the community and the animals in the future.
I love it. I love that you're taking the time to see what the community needs and to build intentionally and strategically and efficiently. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, we have to. We cannot work in an insular fashion. We cannot work with inside our walls and go, here's what we're going to do because we're experts in animal welfare.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, we're experts in what we do, but it's our community that guides us on where we go. Because if we can't respond to the community's needs, we have failed ourselves as an organization.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, that we keep moving and shifting with the needs.
What do you think the staff is most excited about?
Air conditioning. Most of our buildings don't have air conditioning.
Yeah.
I think they're most excited about a space that right now, honestly, they walk all over the place. They get their steps in. It's concrete. It's a place where they will feel so proud. And they know that we have done everything we can to step up to the needs for every aspect. We don't have to go up to someone and go, sorry, we have to walk back past all these dogs barking because of the setup here, or apologize for anything here. We're proud of it. We love it. The staff they're ecstatic. The minute they started seeing dirt move, the smiles just started on their face.
Yeah.
Because they've been part of this journey from day one. They've helped us design what we want in these buildings because they're boots on the ground. They get it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I can't wait. I told them in the beginning, if you could design anything and put anything you wanted into these buildings, what would you do?
Mm-hmm.
2 things I said no to. 1 was a wine bar and 2 was a jacuzzi.
Fair.
Wine
Fair
kind of
enough.
stop. So, that was it.
I love it. And I was talking to some volunteers the other day, and they said that the thing that they're most excited about is the journey path that goes all the way around.
So anyone that's been out here, we can't walk the dogs on the street. So we're putting in what we call journey path. And research has shown us that if you let a dog sniff for about 10 minutes, it's just as good as walking a mile. So our journey path is going to be a beautiful walking path around our 4 acres that we have.
Yes.
But it's going to be lined with things like mint and lavender, and let the dog sniff, let them relax. Outside the cat area, we want to try to put in a little butterfly garden, just to keep them occupied, because it's about their enrichment, while they're here too. I mean, we've gone from
thoughtful,
just looking at my time here in 8 years, we've gone from doing about 10 adoptions a month, and last year we did 2,223 adoptions.
Wow.
We saw about 34,000 pets through our veterinary clinics. We saw about 5,000 when I first started. So we've grown and grown and grown, and now we're at the point where unless we have a space that's bigger, we can't.
Right.
We just can't move, and this is only going to continue to fall down. You can't put duct tape, and tarps on everything.
There's so much you can do.
Yeah.
So, well, we have about maybe 1 or 2 minutes until we enter the audience in question and answer portion. But I did want to ask you if there was just one idea from our conversation this morning that you wanted everyone to take away, what would it be?
I think because we've talked about our volunteers, we've talked about our staff, we've talked about our community, we've talked about this group that started this in 1887.
Yeah.
Where would they want us to be? And we all, and I talked about disasters. When people are at their worst is when they give the most.
Right.
We're actually in a good time right now. So there's ways that we can all reach in and think about our legacy. Think about not just only your own animal, but the community and the ones that need the help.
Yeah.
Whether it's medically, whether it's behaviorally, whether it's a place to lay their head and be warm. We can all give in a way that's important and meaningful to us. A way to leave a legacy of love and compassion.
Make Santa Barbara more humane.
And whatever that looks like to every person here, I know you can find that. I know there's ways to give, and it's not always just money. That helps. But there's plenty of ways to step up.
Be involved.
Because it's not just about us. We're here. This is all being done by the community and for the community. So find a way to bring your passion and your hopes for the future forward now. Why wait?
Awesome. Love it. Well, great. So Now is our time to start the audience question and answer portion of our coffee. So you're invited to share your questions in the chat, and we have a moderator who will send them over to us so that we can read them here. And does anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask Kerri?
I know I probably answered everything you've ever been thinking about stuff, but yeah, you know.
And you should be able to send your questions to the Santa Barbara Humane co-host. And if not, you can send them directly to Kerri and Amanda, the host, and I should be able to see them here. I'll put on my glasses just to make sure.
Olivia wants to know if you can talk more about the rabbit enclosure.
Oh, yes. Can you talk about the rabbit enclosure?
Oh, yes, I'll hop right on that, Olivia. Sorry, I have to put up with my bad dad jokes. So the rabbit enclosure is going to be really cool. So rabbits have their own specific ways that they, hop around, and they're usually just on the ground, like to stay that. But we're doing these great little indoor sites for them. We also have a room they can hop around in, but we also have an outdoor rabbit yard. And the rabbits can, it's a frolic yard is what it is, and the rabbits can go out there and frolic around. Of course, it's, we've got all the fencing so that the hawks or whatever can't get in and let them and get them. But it's a place where the families can go and enjoy and just play with the rabbits out in a beautiful little yard. And they get their sunshine. So yeah, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. Thanks for asking about that. Sometimes we forget about our other little guys that are coming in.
Any other questions?
Yes, I'm good. Right.
Oh, wonderful. Can you talk a little bit about the training classes you provide?
So I think what people don't know is we currently have 25 training classes a week.
That's a lot of classes.
That's a lot of classes, yes. And I'm very busy. No, I'm not teaching those. We have behaviorists and trainers, and we offer everything from puppy classes because you need to start socializing early, right? Same thing with humans. I mean, you just socialize early, and it's better for confidence and for everything else you do go forward. We have a reactive rover class. Those dogs that pull on the leash, react to other dogs, or react to a bicycle. How do we do that? How do we work with them and stop them from doing that? We have your basic sit, stay down, your basic manners class. We actually have a shepherd class and a husky class because they're kind of a breed of their own for a lot of people. We're doing small dog classes, which we're like, what if we just do a small dog class? What will that be like? It was sold out immediately.
Amazing.
We're also going to do canine good citizenship, so you can get little certificates for your dogs. We do private one-on-one training right now. We're also just started in January. We're doing online dog training classes because some people can't get to us. One of our first registrants was from Arizona. So this is going to go out nationally. Again, I think this is the biggest way that we can help keep pets in their home. 3 reasons why people turn in their pets is I'm moving. So a lot of that has to do with landlords. I can't afford veterinary care, which last year we spent over $650,000 helping families to keep them in their home by performing services for them.
Right.
And I don't have time. The I don't have time usually means I just don't have my animals doing something. I don't have time to correct it.
Right.
Let's get ahead of all 3 of those. At least we can control the 2 and keep the families in the home. So our classes just keep expanding. At some point, we want to expand and do some cat classes, but that's in the future a little bit. Yeah, good question.
Awesome. Another question is, what has impressed you the most about the evolution of animal welfare in our country?
Wow, I think.
And that was country, not county, right?
Yeah, country.
Country, okay.
Yeah, what's impressed me most about I think it's because we stopped probably in the 2000s, is we really did stop looking at animals as just property. We really started looking at them individually. We really started saying spay and neutering is important. How do we stop having so many animals go into shelters? We picked up spaying and neutering is important. And that was huge. That started actually in the 1970s. And we were one of the first pioneers in Santa Barbara Humane to start doing spay and neuter actually in the 70s. But I think that was one of the biggest things is that Spay and neuter was a tipping point in animal welfare that started saying we need to do something to stop the population, not just set up more shelters.
What was the shelter population back in the day?
Well, so over 25 years ago, there was depending on who you ask, 10 to 12 million animals entering shelters.
In the United States?
In the United States.
Wow.
And now there's they say there's around 5 million.
Okay.
So huge shift.
Yeah.
And we still have more to go, which is why taking this progressive move of saying, let me spend 20 minutes up front talking to you.
Right.
Instead of just taking an animal in. We're showing those effects are reducing the number of animals coming into shelters. It's hard. Some shelters aren't as resourced as we are, or haven't taken that philosophy of, let's just talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just tell me what you need.
Yeah.
Because too many people judge you. And that's where we've stopped that. And I love that my staff understands that everyone goes through something.
Mm-hmm.
And that something affects their pet. And we want to stop and help them right there.
I love that. It's such a culture of caring.
Yeah. And that's a big shift, right?
Right.
It's a really big shift.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, we still have some questions coming through. Does Santa Barbara Humane accept donations of goods such as pet food, blankets, or towels?
We do. It's kind of be careful what you ask for. I know in times of disasters, especially Hurricane Katrina, we got more towels, more food. We actually had to give some of that stuff away to other shelters in the outlying areas. So we do take things based on our needs at the time, and checking our website is the best place to go for those types of donations to find out, what our needs are. We will always take, any kind of monetary donations. And the other thing that people don't think about is their planned giving. That's another way that people can think about us on ways to give as they move forward. So it's a hard thing to think about. I get it, but it's inevitable.
Yeah.
So
definitely
think about us.
Built by the community, for the community, and sustained by the community as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's how we have been.
It's incredible.
It's so resilient through the years, and we have been able to be here since 1887 because so many people left us in their legacy, their planned giving.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do have an endowment that will continue to provide for the animals in this community well into the future.
That's great. So it's such a sustainable organization.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic. Did we have any other questions?
One more.
One more. In 10 to 20 years, what do you hope we'll be talking about in a coffee like this?
It'll probably be AI, and I'll look much better and not have wrinkles. So, I think I hope what we're talking about in 10 to 20 years is really about super cool ways that we can keep our pets even healthier. New medications, new types of, how do I outfit my dog to go to Mars with me this week? I mean, it's the fun things that we get to talk about, because I hope overpopulation is done with in shelters. I hope that we've really taken the care of, the spaying and neutering and gotten ahead of that. I think some of the topics, honestly, in 20 years from now which sounds weird. It sounds really weird. But I think it may go back to, which dog should we be breeding? Let's look at genetics. Let's look at DNA. And I think it's going to take a different shift into the future on conversations we're having. I don't think they're going to be as sad and the help me and the,
right.
It's going to be great conversations. And I hope I'm there to be part of that.
You will. It's going to be very hopeful. And I love how much we're starting to understand what animals do to improve all life. It makes such a difference.
I think about it, and I foster all the time. And I love, my staff will find me out there sitting in the kennels. They're usually like, Kerri, go back to your office, please. But what I love is when I go out there is sometimes I literally will sit on the floor of the kennel. And it's such a good reminder for me is to watch a cat just put their paw out and reach to you, or a dog just go, because it forces me to relax.
Yes.
It forces me to realize, be in the moment. It's okay. They're in a situation I don't want to be in, and yet they're telling me it's okay. And I love the subtle reminders that animals give us if we just listen. Oh, it's beautiful.
It sure is. Well, are there any other questions?
One more.
Oh, there is another one. All right. And then we're just about ready to close, but we'll take the other question. Where is it? How do we start the process of planned giving? That's a good question.
Yeah, it is never too late to start the process of planned giving. We have some information on our website. It's a great place to start. But, there are plenty of attorneys out there. You should get with them because you want to make sure that it's cared for properly, right? And that you've got everything included. So a planned giving process really talk to an estate attorney. Look at our website. We have some great information on there. Just go to sbhumane.org. But think about the things in your life, and this is where your estate attorney can really walk you through, things that you need to think about, things that you need to include. Because one of the last things I think most people want it to do is go into probate. And if it goes into probate, then it can sit there for sometimes years before it gets sorted. So start the process now. Talk to an estate attorney. Look on our website just to give you you don't want this to be overwhelming.
Right.
And it can be things you don't want to think about. But if you don't think about it now, none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. So we really should just take a look at what we want our legacy to be. Good information out there.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Well, we wanted to say thank you to everyone for joining us today, taking the time out. We do hope that this is an ongoing conversation, and we will be planning more coffees with Kerri soon. If you have ideas for future coffees with Kerri, please let us know. Or if you didn't get a chance to answer your question today or get your question answered today, please feel free to email us. My email is amanda@sbhumane.org. You can always reach Kerri at ceo@sbhumane.org. And we'd love to hear from you. And you're always welcome to come for a tour with us as well.
And everybody have a positive day.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.